The United States will pull out of the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Agency due to its alleged anti-Israel bias. The United States will pull out of the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Agency due to its alleged anti-Israel bias, Washington announced Tuesday as the Trump administration sanctions UN Human Rights Council Special Rapporteur Francesca Albanese due to her criticism of Israel's campaign in Gaza. This is the third time the U.S. is leaving UNESCO, and the second time during the Trump administration. Following President Donald Trump pulling out during his first term, former President Joe Biden applied to rejoin the agency and did so after a 5-year absence. President Trump has decided to withdraw the United States from UNESCO, which supports woke, divisive cultural and social causes that are totally out of step with the common-sense policies that Americans voted for in November, Anna Kelly, the White House deputy spokesperson, told the New York Post. This will take effect at the end of December 2026. Israel, too, recently refused to renew the visa of Jonathan Whitall, a senior UN official in charge of humanitarian affairs in the Gaza Strip and the Israeli-occupied West Bank, due to his biased and hostile conduct against Israel, Foreign Minister Gideon Saar announced on Sunday, The New York Times reported. Israel's decision comes in the wake of Whitall talking about Gazans being killed while waiting for aid at food distribution sites. His predecessor, Andrea Di Domenico, too, had been forced to leave Israel after the authorities refused to let him work there. Speaking about conditions we see on the ground is a core element of OCHA's mandate, the UN agency, which is known as OCHA, said. Attempts to silence us are not new, but threats of reduced access to the civilians we're trying to serve are intensifying. On Sunday, Israeli troops killed at least 67 Palestinians waiting for aid in northern Gaza, the Hamas-led Gaza Health Ministry said, as the IDF issued evacuation orders in central Gaza for residents, including in tents, to head to a desolate tent camp in the Mawasi area on southern Gaza shore, which is an Israel-designated humanitarian zone. More than 2 million Palestinians face a humanitarian crisis amid hunger, disease, and starvation ever since the war started on October 7, 2023, after Hamas militants launched an attack on southern Israel, killing 1,200 and taking 251 hostages. Hamas still holds 50 hostages, but less than half are deemed to be alive. Israel's military action in Gaza killed more than 58,000 Palestinians, with more than half of the dead children and women, the Gaza Health Ministry said. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres said in his statement on Monday that he was appalled by the situation in Gaza as he condemned the ongoing violence, including the shooting, killing, and injuring of people attempting to get food for their families. The population in Gaza remains gravely undersupplied with the basic necessities of life, Guterres said. Israel has the obligation to allow and facilitate by all the means at its disposal the humanitarian relief provided by the United Nations and by other humanitarian organizations. Albanese is being sanctioned for her illegitimate and shameful efforts to urge the International Criminal Court to take action against U.S. and Israeli officials, companies, and executives, said Secretary of State Marco Rubio on X. While she did not comment on the sanctions, Albanese took to X and said, "Just to be sure, on this day more than ever, I stand firmly and convincingly on the side of justice, as I have always done."